everybody. This is your boy Marcus Norman from Gentleman Style Podcast, your host of the #1 podcast coming to you live in America. And today I have leading expert and president of Acre Mezcal, Jordan Haddad is a young entrepreneur with a passion for developing and launching and eventually selling young businesses. His first cut in his teeth is a high-powered world of finance, financial expert. As he grew and as he developed, he moved over into mergers and acquisition, investment banking with Lazard, and later as a high-yield bond analyst with Oaktree Capital. You may have heard from them. If you were an investor, if you're an analytical investor, you're an analytical person, this man is down in the numbers. Two of his most respected financial institutions on Wall Street, Oaktree Capital, and Jordan also worked hands-on with M&A transactions ranging from over $1 million to $50 billion Heinz and Kraft in the consumer goods industry. So this man is absolutely in the numbers. So he knows business and he knows what it takes to make a business thrive. He departed finance to pursue a more personally rewarding opportunity, which is the opportunity that we are going to talk about today, and his new brand of company and his spirit line, Acre Mezcal. Introducing, let's welcome to the stage, Mr. Jordan Haddad.
Thanks for having me, Marcus. How are you?
Absolutely. Thank you for the show. Thank you for joining Gentleman Style Podcast. We appreciate you, sir.
Of course. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. Happy to have you. And so I want to jump right into it. Acre Mezcal, what inspired you to start your company?
So it's kind of, it's a fun, interesting story. So the start of my career, I went into finance originally, I think, as you just touched on in your wonderful introduction. I started off with 2 years as an investment banker at Lazard, working in M&A, and then 2 years at a hedge fund called Oaktree Capital, both pretty prominent Wall Street firms, and I was in their Los Angeles offices. And it was really, really challenging, really good work, really great experience. But I was kind of finding myself ready for a more entrepreneurial jump in life. I wanted something more exciting and a little bit more personally rewarding to me. So around that time that I was trying to figure out my move out of Oaktree, I was down in Cabo at this beautiful resort called Acre Mezcal with my family. And the owner came and sat down next to us, and we just started chatting, and we hit it off. We became good friends. And at that time, they had just this little in-house brand that they were basically bootlegging at the resort, and that was the start of the Mezcal brand today. And I started looking into the industry. I had an early version of this bottle that my partner Stuart gave me for my birthday, and eventually I came to him and said, "Guys, I think there's an incredible opportunity here in the Mezcal business, and just with the way that it's made, I think that there's really so much that we can do." So we went about talking about it, and they agreed to let me partner with them, and here we are today.
Absolutely. And you all, this is absolutely incredible. This bottle, this brand, this company is paving the way. But to truly understand, to get at the heart of it, what is Mezcal and how is it made? And can you hold up the bottle and show my audience this beautiful work of art?
Of course. So here's the bottle for those of you watching. So a lot of people really don't know how Mezcal's made. It's a very old school, authentic process. And I've been fortunate enough to go in and actually see these small villages that are producing Mezcal. So in general, where tequila, you'll often see 100% blue agave on the bottle. That's a specific type of the agave plant. Mezcal is distilled from any species of the agave plant. So you can see up to 150. There's honestly not even an exact count used, but Mezcal can be made from any variety of agave. And essentially what they do is, before the plant reaches its full maturity, which can take anywhere from 7 to 25, 30 years, depending on the species, they'll harvest the center of it, called the piña. So they'll chop the leaves off the agave plant, take the piña, and then they'll have kind of an underground earthen pit oven, and they'll start a fire, cover that in rocks. Then they'll take the piñas, put them on the rocks, and cover all that in dirt for about 4 days. So people often talk about the smoky flavor of mezcal. They get it from that process of the underground roasting. So yeah, there's no industrial processes used here at all. So after the agave comes out nice and roasted, they'll then crush it, and that will either be done by a donkey or a horse pulling a large stone wheel around a circle to crush the fibers up. Or in the case of our Cenizo mezcal, it's actually crushed by hand. Literally, someone's out there with an axe crushing this stuff up. It's incredible. I encourage you to go look at the pictures of it. So after the stuff is crushed, it's then fermented, which is essentially a fancy word for rotting. A little bit of natural water is added to the mix, and it's left outside for maybe a couple weeks, depending on the weather. And that's where the whole mix starts to get alcoholic. There's no added, I should say, there's no added yeast in mezcal. It's an entirely natural process. Agave and water are the only ingredients, as we like to say. So after it's fermented and it starts to get that alcoholic flavor, it's then distilled twice in a pretty simple copper distillation chamber. And it can get a little bit more complex than that, but essentially that's the process. It's very simple. It's more art than science. And it's frequently produced in these really small rural villages in Mexico.
Absolutely. That is incredible. I had no idea that so much was involved in creating a top of the line spirit. And you all saw the pictures. It looks, he had the bottle. It looks absolutely delicious. And tell us, but you're more, right? You're actually backed by a wine. You're more than just a wine and spirits company. You are actually being backed by a popular resort in Los Cabos, Mexico, correct?
Yeah. So technically we have overlapping ownership. So obviously we have a name that's very similar to this incredible resort in Cabo, the Acre Resort. It's in San Jose del Cabo. It's a 25-acre farm to table restaurant. They have treehouse hotels. It's like just very green. It's a total oasis and really one of the most incredible places I've ever been. And so I partnered with the owners of the resort. Legally speaking, not the same thing, but we have that. We have them as our marketing base. We do mezcal tasting there every night. You have A-list celebrities coming through the door, and it's just kind of an incredible partner to have for a starting point for a liquor brand. It's really a part of our organic story.
This is absolutely incredible. This resort and the harmony, the unison. I can see myself sitting here watching this beautiful view and just sipping this, enjoying just the beautiful scenery with my mezcal. And that's the harmony between the two, right? That's the synergy between the two. I love this. I love this. This y'all is incredible. This is breathtaking. And so mezcal, you just explained to us how it's made, what's the process, and how it works. And what sets Acre Mezcal apart from the rest of the competition for investors?
Of course. So for starters, I think there's many great high quality mezcals out there. But some of the things that I think really set Acre Mezcal apart is the quality of the product, our organic story and kind of who we are and what we believe in and our sustainability, and then the packaging and how we stand out to consumers. So I guess to get into each of those individually, first, the quality. So we work with 2 different producing families for the 4 varietals that we're currently selling. Each of them are 4th generation mezcal producers. They're award winners. They're completely uncompromising in their vision and the way that they produce things. I mean, it's true artisan work, the stuff that they put together. And we were actually rewarded with that. With each one of our mezcals won a medal at the San Francisco Spirits competition this year. And that was basically right after we launched. And in particular, the Cenizo here, this won double gold. That's the highest possible award you can get. And for those of you who know, San Francisco it's the biggest spirits tasting competition in the world. So it was a really great honor to have just a few months into our life cycle. Second, the story, which I've touched on a little bit. So we're able to share with our consumers where the mezcal itself comes from and educate them as to the villages and the processes and all those amazing things, but also associate our brand with another lifestyle that's about adventure and learning and excitement and travel. So we're connecting with consumers on multiple fronts, and we're able to connect with local bartenders and local tastemakers on those fronts as well. And then lastly, I talked about our packaging. So we've got an agave fiber label here, which really plays into the whole sustainability aspect. So we use the entirety of the plant in our process. We have handwritten product information on the back of our labels. It's something that we really want to make it feel like a gift. We pay an homage to the history of mezcal. You probably can't really see it on the screen, but we've got this beautiful woman here is the Aztec goddess, Mayahuel, who stands for agave and fertility, according to the legend.
Wow. An incredible story, y'all. You guys stay tuned. My audience, we'll be right back. We got to pay some bills, but stay tuned, stay engaged, and please, you don't want to miss any of this. We have the incredible Mr. Jordan Haddad, president of Acre Mezcal, spilling some tea, not all the tea, but some tea on his incredible company. We'll be right back. See you guys soon.
I'm Marcus Norman, bringing fresh vibes to hot topics surrounding culture, relationships, business, finance, sex, dating, faith, and everything in between. Whether you're into passive income opportunities, trending topics and useful relationship tips, or dynamic guest speakers, there's something for everyone. You can expect all that and more every week. If you're down with this content, then consider joining our growing community by subscribing to Gentleman Style Podcast and smash the bell to get on our VIP list. Your support means the world. Thanks for watching. Link to my channel.
Hey everyone, this is Marcus Norman, your boy, Gentleman Style Podcast, host of this great show. And today we have the incredible Mr. Jordan Haddad of Acre Mezcal and his delicious, incredible, delectable spirits, award-winning spirits. Mr. Jordan just explained to us, go back and watch this, you don't want to miss this, but he just explained his award-winning spirit took the gold prize after just a few months of launching. And that is not easy. This is phenomenal. This is impactful. You're not going to get this anywhere else. Mr. Haddad, not only is your company a spirits company and it's delicious, is incredible, but there's a issue. The explosion in popularity of mezcal has been great for the brands in your category. However, the very plant needed to produce mezcal is potentially becoming endangered by illegal harvesting. How does your company help mitigate that? And how does your company give back while still harvesting?
Yeah, so that's it's a very important and really complicated topic in the agave world. So essentially what's happened over the last 10, 20 years is there's been a massive boom in the popularity of mezcal and therefore demand for the agave plant, which is incredible for these villages, which are generally very, very poor, and it's been of great benefit to them to be able to sell their product. But the flip side of that is that the plant itself is not a perennial plant like wine. It's not like you can harvest it every year. So the agave plant, for what we use, takes anywhere from 7 years on the shortest end to, I think, as I said, 25, 30 years on the longest end. And they didn't see this demand coming 7 years ago. So it creates a potential issue where they're going to be encouraged to over-harvest or do different things that are not good for the long-term life of the plant. So some of the things that we're doing to stay away from those issues is we only work with producers who are doing good, sustainable practices with their work. So for starters, our producer in Durango, he operates a nursery of his own plants. He takes the seeds of the Cenizo varietal of agave, and he is cultivating them on his own before releasing them into the wild. He also uses the agave waste from his production. He turns them into bricks for the local community for donating. And then with our Oaxacan producer, he does something pretty special. So bats have gotten a pretty bad rap throughout 2020, but they're very important in the mezcal world, and they're needed to repollinate the plants and keep the local population alive. So with his more exotic variety types, he allows half of them to grow to full maturity, which means that they can't be used for mezcal. So it means that they can't be harvested for production into bottles, and he allows half of them to fully grow and be pollinated by the local bat population. And that's just going to ensure that his kids and their kids are going to have that life source of the agave plant for a long time.
That's powerful. That is powerful. And so look at the care, y'all. Look at the heart of this company. Look at the heart. The president is leading the way by ensuring that he's not over harvesting and ensuring that the bulk of his mezcal is reaching full development with the assistance and the education and the experience of these families. So I have to ask. I feel you have an award-winning spirit. It tastes great. It's gonna blow up. It's gonna take off. It's taking off, right? I feel like this is probably hundreds of dollars. This spirit costs hundreds of dollars. How much does the spirit actually cost?
Well, not exactly. So we have 4 different varietals that range anywhere from around $50 to about $140, depending on the type of agave used. So our Espadín is our cheapest. That's the most common type that you'll see in mezcal in general. That retails at around $50. And then our Cenizo, the double gold winner that I mentioned, is around $60. And then we have a Tovala and Tepestate, which are much more expensive types, and those are about $100 and $140.
So we have the mezcal Cenizo, we have the Toba, and the Tepescate. Thank you. And so, but the award winner, you all see it right here, the gold sticker. That's the award winner that won the California competition.
And it's in a totally price accessible $60 range.
Wow, $60. That's what this delicious nectar of the gods is. How much to invest? That's probably in the hundreds. That's probably in the thousands. How much to invest in your company and in this delicious spirit?
Sure. So our minimum investment is $248.50 on startengine.com. The maximum, if you're interested in going that amount, would be in the hundreds of thousands, but let's have a good conversation about that first. If you're interested in putting in those dollar figures. I think, unfortunately, I'm only allowed to comment on so much due to the SEC regulations, but what I can talk about is that some of the perks that we have for your investment are pretty cool, and that's due to our partnership with the resort. So I can tell you, even with $1,000 investment, you're going to get a night in an award-winning, unbelievably gorgeous treehouse down in Cabo, and even that in itself is like a $300 value. We're offering masks and tote bags. You can see the mask right here. Custom bottles, cocktail classes. You know, we're trying to bring the investors into the family here.
Wow. At a minimum investment, $250, you get a family and ownership of this great company and get to participate.
And a 15% discount on your online orders for life. I forgot to mention that.
Woo! I'm making a purchase tonight because I gotta get on this. I swear, y'all, I'm not an alcoholic. I promise. So, what's the plan as a president? What's the plan for the future of your company? What do you see? What's the goal after you achieve your financial goal?
Yeah, so our use of funds and kind of the direction that we plan on going, really in a lot of ways, we viewed 2020 as a test year for us, and it's been a crazy year for craft spirits in general. Despite that, we've managed to grow pretty well. But essentially, all the sales in the U.S. so far were basically just me doing the legwork and going door to door and trying to sell. And as much fun as that is, it's not really sustainable to build a large company. So we're going to be investing heavily in sales. We have an incredible marketing team that's come on in the last 6 months that I think has taken the brand in a really great direction. And they've basically been doing that with no budget so far. So I can't wait to see what they do with a decent marketing budget behind them. And other items will be filling inventory and working capital slightly, but really the main focus is going to be going into sales and marketing and then working on distributor relationships and getting into new markets.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Do you ship overseas? I have a audience base in Russia and India. Do you ship overseas at all?
So we do not do direct to consumer overseas right now. We did recently sign with our first international distributor, mixed drinks in Australia. So we will be, for those of you Australians out there, we will be available in the Australian market within a few months. And we're starting to look at other markets as well.
Woo! Some growth, baby. You can't knock it. I love growth. What are some upcoming blockbusters you have coming down the pipeline for us?
So I don't think I can share everything with you right now, but we've got some pretty awesome changes and a lot of great opportunities coming up. So we're going to be unveiling some changes to the packaging soon enough, some things to make it pop a little bit more in ways that will, I think, resonate with the everyday consumer. We're exploring some deals that could really improve our margins and additional partnerships with our suppliers. And I think, as I touched on, trying to look at new states and new markets, and start growing.
Absolutely. How has COVID-19 affected the business and the company?
So the virus has had a huge impact on our industry in the last year. As everybody knows, it's been a terrible year for restaurants. And at least at the outset, our goal was to mainly be in what's called on-premise, which is with restaurants and connect with bartenders in the nightlife scene. And in a large extent, that went away basically a couple months after we launched. So we've really had to pivot and shift our focus to more of a direct-to-consumer or off-premise model of sales, and even just new ways to connect with our consumers. If we can't do face-to-face mezcal tastings, we have to find a way to engage with them via social media or digital tastings or giftings, and really just get creative with it.
Absolutely. Mr. Jordan, we have to go to one more commercial break, y'all. I apologize. Stay tuned, stay engaged. We'll be right back.
Are you a local business looking to offer your customers easy access to cash without having to travel miles? We're here to help. At Norman Legacy Investments, we provide free ATMs with free installation that provide a suitable investment for your business. Even better, we offer you some profit sharing and handle everything from start to finish. Just reach out to us today to schedule a free consultation.
Hey everybody, this is Marcus Norman. If you are just tuning into the show, please like, share, and subscribe. We are on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, LinkedIn, Facebook, and everywhere audio and visual can be listened to or watched. And today we have the incredible Mr. Jordan Haddad at president of Acre Mezcal, and he is educating us on investing in his spirit. This delicious nectar of the gods made from the agave plant in Mexico, and his fantabulous, that's not a word, but it is a word right now, fantabulous team. And so for $250, you can be a part of this family and connect and grow with them as they go into the foreseeable future. Sir, what is a book that you recommend every man or woman should read?
So a book that I really enjoyed, and I think in a lot of ways inspired me to make the choice that I did to leave my finance career, is this book called Tribe by Sebastian Junger. My takeaway may not have even been his real intent, but the book speaks a lot about how we as humans are at our happiest and most rewarded when we're struggling. But kind of more importantly, when we're struggling for a group of people that we care about and people that we're closely associated with, and how that just makes life so much more rewarding for people. And though my finance career was certainly challenging, it was certainly a struggle, I didn't feel that same connection. And I would say now, as president of a brand, working closely with our producers and my business partner and our employees, it's a whole different feeling of responsibility, and it makes this job so much more really rewarding. And it's truly one of the best choices I've ever made.
Leaving corporate America. You heard it, y'all. This man took a leap of faith and left corporate America and invested in himself, and it has paid the best dividends. Mr. Haddad, sir, what is your favorite way to give back to the community?
Yeah. So personally, I love spending my time and energy into people who are motivated and want to be successful. I like spending my time, I guess I would do this all the time in my professional career. If I knew someone who was looking to break into the industry of investment banking, I would try and take them under my wing and show them how to get a job and be successful, and really just develop those personal relationships I've always enjoyed. Additionally, just being able to give back through the brand has been incredible. So we support an amazing little organization called Acre Dogs that's operated through the resort itself. It's an animal rescue. We've gotten a couple hundred dogs rescued to date. It's pretty special to be able to support that.
That's you just touched every animal lover's heart. That's incredible. Over 100 dogs helped and saved. That's incredible. What is the best way for my audience to connect with you? What is the best way for my audience to support you and invest and grow with Mezcal?
So please, if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly. My email is jordan@acrebaja.com. That's Jordan at acrebaja.com. Also, please go to the Start Engine listing. There's going to be a ton of information about the company. You'll actually get to see the financials and the growth plan and all of that in much more detail than I can comment on here. I think that's about it.
Absolutely. And where can they, people in the United States who want to sample this delicious agave, where can they go there?
Yep. So you can go directly to our website, acremezcal.com, and you'll see a link right there to purchase online.
Love that. Love that. Please, Mr. Haddad, please don't give up. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule today to give back. I consider this giving back to the community, and I appreciate you for taking the time out of your schedule. And I thank your team for all the hard work that they do. And we appreciate you. Please, y'all, check out the link below. And also in the comments, if you're depending on where you're watching from, if you're on YouTube, just click the link and invest and do your research and invest in this fantabulous company, this alternative investment. It's no longer stocks and bonds anymore, y'all. It's no longer mutual funds. It's no longer Wall Street or big brokerages. It's investing in our own businesses right here in the United States, right here in Cabo, Mexico. So, Mr. Haddad, thank you so much. I appreciate you for joining on the show. And thank you all for tuning into the channel. We love you. We appreciate you. And I appreciate my audience for tuning in today. Like I always say, take care of your friends, take care of your families, and like always, take care of business. This is Marcus Norman from Gentleman Style Podcast, and Mr. Jordan Haddad, president of Acre Mezcal, and invest in his delicious line of spirits. Signing off. Love you guys.